Alright, so for this explainer, we're going to do something a little different. We're diving into an ancient Buddhist text, but we're going to treat it like it's the source code for a cosmic operating system. We're going to look at how our intentions, what the text calls our vows, literally design the reality we all experience. Let's get right into it.
So the whole thing kicks off with this really profound question. A paradox, really. An enlightened being, a bodhisattva, asks the Buddha, look, with all the perfect, pristine, easy mode universes out there, why on earth would you choose to show up in a place like this one, a world filled with so much suffering? I mean, why would anyone voluntarily choose to play life on the highest possible difficulty setting?
And that very question, that paradox, it leads us straight to our first key insight. And this one, well, it pretty much flips our entire understanding of purpose and choice right on its head. The Buddha's response just completely changes the game. He explains that an enlightened mind doesn't go shopping for a nice environment. It chooses the beings it wants to help. You see, the goal isn't personal comfort, it's compassion. It's about going where you're needed most. It's choosing the messy, difficult world precisely because it's the one that needs the most help.
Okay, so this brings us to the core mechanic of this whole cosmic system, and it's a big one. The idea isn't that you just find a world and then try to adapt to it. No, it's that your intention, your vow, is actually what generates the world around you in the first place. The sutra gives us this incredible formula. You can think of it like the physics engine for this reality. It says that a world, or a Buddha land, is a direct result of two things: the power of the vows made within that world, multiplied by the very structure of the beings who are making those vows. In other words, the world you experience is a direct, mathematical manifestation of our collective intentions.
So what's the default program? What happens if no one makes a conscious, powerful vow? Well, the sutra describes it as this base-level code that just runs in the background. It's a simple, self-perpetuating loop. Desire leads to attachment. Attachment leads to the system of mutual consumption. I need something from you, you need something from me, and this just repeats and repeats forever. This is the default setting of unenlightened existence.
And the text gives us this brilliant story to illustrate the two potential outcomes. A wise teacher has a dream that's basically a system preview. On the light side, you see the potential for enlightenment. All the Buddhas appear, light fills the body, it's the system's highest potential. But the dark side shows the alternative. These pig-faced beings just endlessly eating each other, totally trapped in that cycle. Now, this isn't about good versus evil. It's just a system schematic showing the two paths available to everyone.
But the system actually has more than just those two binary outcomes. You can think of it more like a really sophisticated sorting algorithm, one that places beings onto completely different evolutionary tracks, based entirely on their core motivations.
So here's how this sorting algorithm works. It's fascinating. Even if people are performing the exact same good action, their core intention, their why, sorts them into one of three tiers. You've got the low tier, people seeking worldly stuff like wealth and power. That just reinforces the loop. Then there's the mid-tier, those who just want to escape suffering for themselves. They achieve liberation, sure, but not full Buddhahood. But the high tier, that's reserved for those with the vow to save all beings. That's the track for full evolution.
And this leads us to a really critical warning in the text, something we can call the good deeds trap. The sutra is crystal clear on this point. Just doing good deeds, being charitable, racking up good karma, that's not enough to break the cycle. Without that high-tier intention to awaken everyone, all those good deeds do is make your cage a little more comfortable. They don't actually give you the key to get out.
So if personal liberation isn't even the ultimate goal, then what is? What is the highest objective of this entire cosmic operating system? What's the point of the whole game?
The answer is something called bodhicitta, but let's define that in our system terms. It's the master key. It's the admin password for reality. It's that moment when a player in this game of life decides to stop grinding for individual points and instead says, you know what, I'm going to upgrade the entire system for the benefit of all the other players. It's a fundamental shift in purpose.
What's so fascinating is who the real hero this story is. It's not the king, the one with all the resources and power. Nope. It's his teacher, Baal-Hai, the evangelist with the vision. And look at his priorities. First, inspire faith that awakening is possible. Second, inspire others to make these powerful vows. And only then, third, does he accept any offerings or resources. The knowledge, the vision, always comes before the capital.
I know this all sounds very cosmic, very abstract, but the sutra is ultimately a practical manual. So the real question is, how can we apply this? How do you use this knowledge to start designing your own universe, right here and now?
The text actually gives us a pretty clear protocol. Step 1. Redefine what an offering even is. Shift from just giving money or things to offering knowledge, insight, and awakening. Step 2. You have to activate your own vow system. Constantly ask yourself, why am I doing this? And if the answer is just for personal gain, you're still stuck in the loop. Your why has to be bigger. And finally, step 3, build your blueprint. Design the world you want to create. Whether that's a company, a community, or a piece of art, design it in your mind first, based on that bigger why.
So what's the ultimate takeaway from all of this? The entire teaching really boils down to this one incredibly powerful idea. The blueprint for the reality you will eventually inhabit isn't determined by your past or your karma or your circumstances. It is determined entirely, 100%, by the scale and the sincerity of the vows you are making right now, today.
Which leaves us with one final thought to sit with. Every intention you hold, every deep-seated motivation, it's a line of code in the blueprint of your reality. So the question isn't whether you're designing a world. You already are. We all are. The real question is, what world are you designing?